Busog na katawan, mapayapang isipan. Go Palakas! Malinis na paligid, mabuting kalooban. Go Palakas! Hangad na maglingkod sa kapat kaibigan. Go Palakas! Alagaan natin si Inang Kalikasan. Halika na totoo sa kalikasan at kapwa-tao. Isa buhay natin ito. Go Pala, Go Pala. Sugan pangkalikasan. Go Palakas.
Okay, pleasant morning to all
Good day,
Kamusta kayong
everybody
lahat?
around the world.
around the world. More topics to discuss as far as situations that are going on in our life, in the
around
world
the
today, our communities, how everything is kind of changing a bit, and adaptation and alternatives have to be in the forefront of how we view how we would live our life.
No.
Kailangan simplihan na lang natin,
Even the
no?
society itself na-realize nila, uy, pwede pala yung homeschooling
Oh, maganda ang homeschooling.
And pwede pa rin
Promote
pala,
natin yung
pwede rin pala yung work at home.
work. Oh, nga, maganda rin si work at home. Di ba?
Hindi napapabayaan
At
ng mga
saka
bata.
pwede rin mamili na lang online. Hindi
Right.
na pupunta sa
Maraming
mall.
or stay local. Buy local.
Ay,
And,
local.
Kasi ngayon, kahit yung mga palengke, meron na rin nag-set up sa tabi-tabi.
Yeah,
di ba? Not
marami
the
na
main
tayong
market.
mabibilhan.
Pero sa kapitbahay, meron ng mga gulay. Pwede mga...
so,
Kami nagtanim-tanim na rin ng
Oo.
kanya-kanya.
bibilis.
Or
Ang daming,
sa mga kapitbahay, tulungan sa
Oo.
tanim ng pagkain.
so much is connecting early in the morning. Yeah, or
Oh.
early in the show. Good morning, Avelina. Good morning to you.
Yeah,
And
and Gemini
Gemini.
Rose.
Good morning. Narcisa. Good
Blessed
morning.
Saturday to all.
Cynthia Merga, good morning. Milay Arroyo and Avelina. Again, Avelina is saying from Magalang, Pampanga. Taga Magalang,
Ayan.
Pampanga siya.
Oh, nice. Kaya,
Nice to see all of you. And
Tsaka alam mo, they're from all over. Biro mo, nagkakasama tayo sa isang panahon na magkakasama tayo from everywhere. At saka minsan
So,
meron tayo from abroad.
those are the kumagana.
Yun ang
Uy,
perks
yun
ng
din.
mga
Those are
nangyari
perks.
ngayon. Oo.
Perks ngayon
Of
na
times.
nalaman natin online. Hindi
Yes.
ba?
Right. But yet at the same time, there has to be, kasi alalahanin nyo, the online perks are there for us, from how to choose quality of food that you really need only, even for
Yeah.
clothing. Daming mga ganyan eh. But yet at the same time, we have to all consider this point, no? What are our basic needs? You
Yung
know,
pinakasimple lang.
pinakasimple. Because our lives have
Essential.
changed.
I
Eh.
think
Yeah.
Oo,
Basic
essential.
is also very important and very essential. Kumbaga, they are the priorities natin.
Right.
Talagang kailangan.
So
Oo.
sometimes when we speak, kasi our perception is based on our own experiences sa buhay, so we can share that information. But yet, many of our communities are very much marginalized too. What options do they have?
Yes.
What alternatives do they have? Kasi marami rin dyan talagang no matter what, isang kahig, isang tuka eh. Then,
Lalo na ngayon.
when
no?
I speak
Kahirapan.
about this, it's something I've been very concerned with, and I've taken notice. You know, in the farming communities, for many years already, the farmers are not self-sufficient in food anymore.
Oo.
Kasi dahil sa monocropping, ano?
Yeah, they are very much dependent on the supplies that come from their own local markets.
Sabi nga nung isang kaibigan natin, nag-survey sila, college students sila sa UP. Sinurvey nila yung mga food habits and purchases ng mga farmers.
Oo.
At na-discover nila that they don't nga eat what they grow,
Oo.
but actually, bumili sila mga delata.
Oo.
No?
O mga tuyo. O,
Lucky Me,
delay.
yung
Oo,
noodles.
noodles,
And,
oo.
kasi, you know,
Which
Kasi hindi na
Research-
sila nagtatanim
Which
masyado.
researches have shown these are not as healthy as
Of
fresh
course.
food.
Right.
Diba? Yung mga noodles
plus,
nakakabigay ng
kasi it's
problema
also,
rin.
you know, the
Oo.
convenience for them.
Pero
Kasi,
mas convenient yata ang pipitas ka.
kasi kunyari, no?
Oo, iba yun.
May ano yan eh, yung instant eh, na-develop sa,
No.
Ah,
sa
parang
mindset ng
3-minute
tao.
noodle or 1
And
minute.
kaya the food industries, yung mga manufacturers, this is where they focus. Ang nangyari, the
Yun ang
farmers
selling point nila.
produce the needs of the factories, yung mga manufacturers. Kunyari, then
To
they
feed the
send,
animals.
then no. They send the food. The manufacturers get all the food. They put them in packs,
Oo.
dilata, and then send them back to the farmers. Kasi mas mura bumili ng isang maliit na dilata eh. Kesa ako pa magluluto niyan. Kasi may ganun eh. Yun ang components niya eh.
Yes.
So when you go to and these are many of these communities are not the kind that will they can afford to use LPGs
Oo nga.
or
Kahoy,
electric
uli.
stove.
Kahoy pa
Uli.
rin.
Kaya yung market doon, yung population that requires yung instant food is big in our country. So
Correct.
the manufacturers, the business people, they see that. So dyan ako slow.
O yan.
Okay. So
Okay.
a lot of
A little
a lot of
glitch.
the business people, the mga investors na sinasabi natin, the manufacturers, they manufacture for the market that's inexistent locally.
Which
Yeah.
they also created that market.
Right. So they're the ones buying from the producers. They will manufacture that. Then they will sell it back to the
They will pack it and
Eh,
sell it
to
back to the producer.
consumers. The fruit. So this is a cycle that puts us in a bind pagdating sa what?
Artificial yan eh.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
Dati, magtatanim ka, mag-harvest ka, lulutuin mo, may pagkain na kayo.
Oo.
Wala kang perang kailangan ilabas.
Oo.
Diba? Simple lamang.
this was designed.
Original yun, yung farm to table. Dati
Oo.
na yan. Nawala lang.
Maganda
Ngayon,
na lang.
binabalik ng mga
Maganda
tao.
na lang yung term, farm to table na eh.
Oo.
But yun noon, farm to table naman dati pa eh.
Yun ang,
Diba?
yun ang
But ang
ating
nangyari ngayon, because
background.
everybody moved to the
Original.
urban centers, even the farmers got affected by such
O, iba na yung
mindset.
thinking
Kasi
nila.
you will find in the sari-sari stores in the rural countryside, the same things that you can buy in the market in the urban centers, in the stores. Local people in the countryside will access them.
Mhm.
Kaya nga may mga tindahan eh, mga sari-sari store eh. Yung mga sabon nila, yung kung ano mga pangangailangan nila sa household. At alam nyo, pag tingnan nyo itong mga lugar na ganito, yung mga sari-sari store, kaya nga sabi nung sa research, tingnan nyo, anong maraming mabibili dun sa sari-sari store? Kahit na napakaliit.
Junk food.
Dilata,
Mm-mm.
Lucky Me,
Noodles.
Tsaka yung mga pakete na plastic.
pakete na
Oo.
panlasa ng pagkain.
Mm-mm.
Ito ay something that we should, kumbaga na, if you live in the countryside, this is not something that you should be patronizing.
Yeah.
Oo.
This
Alam
way
mo,
of life.
napapansin ko kasi, syempre mga kapitbahay namin, farmers, no? I noticed, yung mga nagtatanim pa rin ng gulay kahit paano, sila yung pinakamalusog ang itsura ng mga anak.
Oo. Nakatumatanda sila.
Oo.
They grow old.
Pero tignan mo ha, like I have a friend na nakatira sa city. Nung nag-grocery siya, her cart, may kaya naman. They live in the
Oo.
city and everything. Yung cart niya puno ng noodles.
Ay,
Sabi niya, bakit ganyan? Tapos sabi niya, yan ang gusto ng mga bata.
Oo.
Kasi kumbaga yung taste, yan din ang ano na mas na-develop nila yung taste for yung flavorings ng mga
You acquire
artificial
certain
food.
taste, and when you acquire a certain
Depende kung ano
taste,
i-introduce mo sa bata eh.
that comes also with you acquire certain lifestyle.
Ayun.
Now,
Which
if
does
you-
not necessarily mean you will be healthy.
Yes,
Oo.
and
Correct.
it is a sustainable lifestyle that even as parents we want our children to be like us or what we have gone through. But yet you will see the changing situation in a very society that we live in, not only locally, but also in the world. Ngayon, let's say here in the Philippines right now, do you know that 40% of most of our food are imported?
Oh, malaki rin yan.
40%.
Mm-mm.
So that
I thought
means we
bigger
are
pa
only
nga, no?
producing 60 for ourselves.
For ourselves.
Oo.
So that means when
Malaki
the-
rin yan, ha?
So when you have crisis like this that's taking place, fuel
Paano na yan,
crisis, transport issues,
Oo.
so you have no, kumbaga ano, wow, I don't have
Apektado ka.
control.
Oo.
I cannot control how the prices would change
Oo.
and would rise up.
Oo.
And now,
Supply and prices,
Na-
parehong problema.
for example, no,
Compared to other countries, kamusta naman sila? Mas self-sufficient na.
Meron
no,
naman,
it's ano eh.
Nag-global
We,
na kasi
we
tayo,
all went
diba?
global eh.
Oo.
So it's a global market setting
lahat
where
meron imported.
an exchange
stuff.
eh.
Mm-mm.
Yan yung WTO, yung World
World
Trade
Trade
Organization.
Oo.
Ayan ang naging objective nila eh. Na all the resources that is produced in different parts of the world
Aabot sa
will be
iba-iba.
shared by everyone. So there's a
Oo.
common market.
Although hindi even yung sharing.
Kasi on the end of the day, we end up, the more richer countries would end up using our land and our people.
Oo.
We grow it pero hindi
to-
tayo
to-
necessarily kumakain.
Yeah. So it's for somebody else.
Oo.
So our land becomes like that. Eh ngayon, yung mga farmers natin na, alam nyo ba, supposed to be the latest survey na almost 89% of the farmers are small farmers in our population.
89.
Ang dami,
Napaka.
no? Oo.
But yet,
Oh.
Sila yung konti ang kinikita.
konti ang kinikita, konti ang kumbaga sila yung nasa bottom of the rung as far as
Oo,
society
kasi
is
they
concerned.
things get bought from them mura and then yung middleman ang
Right.
kakikita.
So, at the end of the day, you'll find, alam nyo dito, this is shocking to find out because I was in a recent conference and when I was doing an assessment of our undertaking to help everybody in the province,
Mm-mm.
this is reported by the National Economic Development Agency, NEDA, that here in La Union, the cash flow amongst communities in the rural area a month
Mhm.
is 6,250.
Cash flow ng mga tao.
Meaning, yun yung hawak nilang cash
Oo.
sa
Sa
isang
ating
buwan.
mga farmers.
Yeah, ito yung mga marginalized
Locally, oo.
community.
That's not much considering.
So it's shocking to find out that, but
It's
yet,
very little.
they try to survive in what they have. Pero yung punto rito, ano mabibili mo sa 60? Kasi
Oo nga,
sa,
kung may pamilya
sa
ka.
pamilya, 70% of their budget goes to food.
Mm-mm.
So,
So that bigas na.
o kaya kung meron man silang bigas, kasi magsasaka sila na itabi sa inani nila.
Yun ang pang-cash rin nila.
Yung
minsan,
cash flow
di
nila
ba?
yung
Oo.
mahal ang murang bigas, mura ang mga grains ngayon, tapos mahal ang cost of production. Mataas ang fertilizer, mataas lahat.
Fertilizer.
Fuel, everything is so high. So nobody's gonna, this is the scary part. Kaya I'm sharing this to everybody. Who's gonna plant now? For the future. Nobody wants to plant.
Kailangan pa naman, now pa naman you need
You need to
garden.
be self-sufficient in
Oo,
food.
sa
I mean,
food.
these are factual
I think
data
lagi
that
yun,
that should wake us up. Kasi kumbaga,
Ayaw na ni farmer magtanim kasi mahal.
Mahal.
Wala naman akong
Inputs.
kikitain.
Oo,
Malulugi
wala
lang
rin
ako
silang
dyan.
kikitain.
Oo.
So, sino na magtatanim?
Malulugi
All of
lang
us
ako.
need the food.
Okay, let's greet more of our
60%.
Habang
We should be
nag-iisip-isip
growing.
kami,
Yeah.
anong gagawin natin?
Mag-hello muna tayo. sa
Jetty
ating mga-
Hernandez,
Jet.
good morning.
Oo.
Si Jet
Yeah, and then
yan.
Jacqueline.
Hello, Jet!
Jacqueline, good morning. Thomas, good morning. Vina, good morning. Mary too, good morning.
Oo.
Ligaya Dixon, good morning. Oh, si Bear, Kamusta yung ating mga tanim? No?
Yeah.
Alam ko, mainit din dyan sa lugar ninyo. Then our friend Ananda, who's been, went back and lived,
Simple
applied the
life.
very,
Oo.
the basics.
That we're talking about.
Yeah,
Get
then
a piece of
Francis,
land
good
and
morning
grow
to
food.
you, and Salditan, good morning.
Yes.
You know, this is so timely that we discuss this point, simply because if you live in a situation where you're reliant on outside sources to supply your needs, then you have no control. You have no knowledge on how it is produced. This is a fact.
Health-wise.
Alam mo,
Health-wise.
meron pa
Hindi ka
talagang
sigurado.
actually strategies. Kahit ang mga Western countries, they first gave mga Nutri-Bans to get the students liking wheat
Children.
products.
Yeah,
breads,
those
mga
in
ganun. Kasi
those
dati
in-
hindi naman natin culture yun
Oo,
bread.
oo.
So na ngayon, everybody likes something wheat-based, no? And so it creates a whole market. No, yun. So ngayon, people are now wanting and dependent on the wheat products, no? So
But
Well,
yet- but yet we
Filipino
don't
without
produce it.
pandesal is,
Huh?
kailangan
Yeah, we don't
natin
produce
yan.
the wheat.
we don't produce the wheat.
Now,
Ayun
there's a
lang.
war. Do you know that Ukraine and Russia is one of the biggest wheat producers in the world?
Yes,
They are
so apektado yung
exporters.
ating pandesal.
So that means, kaya yung ako,
Top
if you
two,
notice, the
top three.
pandesal gets smaller and then
And then more expensive.
and more expensive. It has to
It
do with
can't
that.
get any smaller, okay? Baka mamaya.
Tapos kung
increase
kayo,
sa size
kung
na
kayo
lang.
yung mahilig sa mga matatamis, the sweet tooth type of person,
Oo.
Siyempre,
sugar
Pinoy
is
mahilig
now
sa
selling
sweets.
on bulk buying is selling at per sacco is selling at 3,200 pesos.
Dati, magkano?
More than double yan.
Alam nyo, in the last 10 years, 10 years ago, the price of sugar was only 980.
Wow, 980 lang.
And last year, magkano siya?
Last year, it was selling at 2,400.
Ngayon,
Tapos
But
ngayon,
this past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think after the typhoon of Odette,
nasira yung crop nila.
now the government have to resort to importation. So this is the issue here. We get so used to this type of mindset
Yan.
of dependency. And then to the point where when we're faced with the dilemma of supply,
And rising costs.
rising
Oo.
costs, then we have to be very creative in how we will have to deal with
Kaya
this
kailangan natin ma-clear in our head what we really need.
need.
Yes,
that we can
needs.
afford.
Yes.
Tanggalin
back.
na natin yung hindi
Essentials.
natin kailangan.
Essentials.
Especially,
Back to the real basic need.
if you eat processed sugar, you're gonna get diabetes no matter what.
Anything
Yeah.
processed
And
is
even a lot of white rice is
Right.
also going to contribute to your blood sugar levels.
Yeah,
know.
you're all gonna be faced with health issues
kaya
eventually.
piliin na natin.
It may
ang
fill in your
bibili.
belly to give you that satiated feeling that may laman yung aking tiyan ko.
Oo.
But yet to a common, simpleng tao, when we discuss about food,
Number one ang rice. Lagi
Yeah,
for them.
rice.
At
And
saka tinapay. Yun
this is
naman,
one thing
ano
that
eh.
At
we're not
noodles,
looking at.
kasali yung
Again, I've
noodles.
mentioned this so many times.
Oh.
4 things that we need to do if you are engaged in agriculture or food production. 1, your practice has to involve everybody.
You mean
The
lahat
child, the
matutulungan?
woman, the father, everybody should learn to garden.
Oo. Kasi everybody wants to eat.
Right?
It's
You
also
learn to eat.
beneficial.
You grow what you eat. Right?
Sigurado kayo,
get
walang
that.
chemical, walang
Pangalawa,
hindi mabuti.
your practice has to be sustainable. Meaning, you practice recycling, you make your own fertilizer, you kumbaga na you
Alaga mo yung soil.
yes, the soil is the
Oo.
key.
Hosting.
And then you save water.
Mm-mm.
Alam nyo, may ganito yan eh. So, nyari,
May
sa
mulch ka kasi
di ba sa isang taon, may peaks and lows tayo sa cycle ng nature.
sa tubig,
Sa
ulan.
tubig,
Mm-mm.
sa
Sa pagkain.
init, sa pagkain,
Oo.
may sa panahon na ganito, mahirap magtanim ng kamatis kasi kaya mahal.
Oo.
Oo.
So, yung may mga ganun ka eh. So
Seasonal,
you have to be
Learn
adapting
to
to this.
adapt to all the changes.
So you develop a habit that you can sustain it without having to put added costs.
Mm.
Oh, what's in season?
Mm-mm.
Tama?
Healthier pa yung food
Yes.
pag ganun.
Op.
Oh, what's happening to us?
Is it our internet?
Oh, time to drink. While we are out. Muted daw yung
Yes. Okay, so
We're taking a water break.
Drinking.
what happens is
So,
Needs yan,
we,
needs.
so you're saying we have to plan talaga what we're eating
Yes.
depending on what is seasonal and healthy.
Yeah, at
Yeah.
saka,
No?
preferably, ikaw nagtanim.
And also-
Preferably
Possible,
also
no?
kasi
locally sourced.
So,
Yan,
meron
meron na.
na.
Meron na po ba kayong naririnig sa amin?
What happened kaya?
no sound pa rin.
Still
Yes,
no sound.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for your feedback. We really needed that.
Okay, so
Kasi parang kami nag-uusap, hindi na pala kami naririnig.
yes,
Now, where were we?
it's crucial kasi yun na yung demand and supply But yet, how commodities are going
Wait lang po. Okay, sorry. Oh, it's good to be back.
Yes.
Okay, is that good now?
Hindi lang po nawala yung audio, pati yung video nawala tayo.
So we have to,
Can you hear us now?
Yes.
are we good?
Nawala.
Nawala pa rin.
We're not in.
Ang bilis ng oras, tapos nawala na.
Can you hear us right now?
Nawala na naman
Did
daw.
somebody, ano? Yes.
We're
Okay.
here now?
Yes, thank you,
Yeah,
Thomas.
famous.
Okay.
And Milay. Thank
Sorry,
you.
sorry to you guys, and
We
thank
don't
you
know what's
for.
going on, but we're trying to work it out.
Of course, with challenges ng technology. Ayan lang naman, tuloy-tuloy pa rin tayo. Kahit
And
meron
you know
tayong
what?
interruptions.
You know what?
Thank you for not leaving us.
And we're in the middle of the forest, so if sometimes.
Namin dating excuse.
But anyway, ang punto natin, hindi ba? Going back to basics.
At saka I would say, going back to basics, very important ang plant-based diet. Because that is
kasi
one
magtanim ka na ng
very
food.
economical lifestyle.
You know, recently
habit.
I was at a
Um,
conference with a group of UPLB food scientists.
Oo.
Ang pinag-uusapan nila ngayon dyan,
Sa UPL.
sa UPLB, meron na silang programa to produce proteins and food from plant-based sources.
Oo, they're making a plant-based food,
Yan. So,
their whole-
part na
so-
ng research nila
Yes,
talaga
and
yan.
they're coming up with sinasabi nila, there's
Kasi
just
mga may
no
gusto
way
ng plant-based diet, nag-import pa yung iba eh. Ito,
There's no
gagawa na
way.
tayo.
that you can still manage producing enough food for the population. This is what they mentioned. With misusing the land
Mm-mm.
to grow food that is not meant for human
For
consumption.
direct human consumption.
Direct human consumption. So they saw
Hindi
the
na yun sustainable.
economic difficulty of that. And with limited resources.
Mhm.
Now, when I speak about this, I'm sharing you information that I am very much aware of as far as our country is concerned, and the difficulties that we are faced with. Because we have become, our system of production of food has never been improved.
Oh.
It's never
Parang
been
yun natin
prioritized
pa rin. Mm-mm.
for such a long time.
Mhm.
E ngayon, all the different sectors of our society, binigyan ng pansin. For example, this moment, the present government, the priority is still building roads. The DPWH.
O build
Oo,
sila, di ba?
nandiyan yan.
Oo,
Kasi-
plant.
Kasi ang question ko palagi during conferences like this, farm to market roads, yeah, it sounds good. We bring in the resources of the farmer's production and
Wala
then
na
there's an
nagtatanim.
asset.
Paano na yan?
Anong resource ang
Wala natin
hahakutin
natanim.
nyo? Anong
Oo.
resource ang gagamitin
Ito,
nyo?
at saka hindi nagtatanim si farmer. Si kalabaw na lang ang ano.
Eh, buti sana
Kailangan
kung maswerte
talaga
kayo,
magtanim.
kung may kalabaw pa yung mga magsasakay.
May
Dahil
halos
pati
wala
yun,
na, konti na.
yung movement ng modernization ng ating farming na pinromote ng ating mga liderato sa Senado na ganito ang dapat. O sige.
Oil-based.
Nangyari ngayon, ito na ang
Fuel-based.
problema. Nawala lahat ng baka at nawala na lahat ng mga kalabaw.
Oo.
Puro
Ngayon,
tractor.
mahal na yung mayroong tractor. Kailangan mo.
Puro traktor.
Mhm.
Kaya ngayon,
Kalabaw.
pagdating mo, how are we going to address the situation? I'm speaking to you this, to everybody because
Practical lang po.
you gotta go back to basics.
Back to our kalabaw. Back
Food,
to our bisikleta.
you know, we're not, I mean, it's all up to you what adaptation do you make into you do. We're just sharing information to help you out. What choices do you have? So, kayo na bahala pag bibisikleta kayo o maglalakad kayo. It's not what we're promoting on this. It's just making sure that when we're discussing points like this, to understand what is the mechanics behind the whole difficulty that people are faced with.
At saka kasi Tito Toby, you're giving us the overall picture that's going on around us that most people hindi aware na, ganito na ba yung problema ng mga farmers?
Yeah, kunyari, yesterday, no? Yesterday here, in where we live, I know what goes on around, even the town. Then definitely because it's election year. So people are, kung saan man na may happening yung mga politiko,
Mhm.
kaya nandiyan din ang munisipyo, tumutulong lahat yan, lahat ng resource medical mission, lahat ng ganon. But it only happens in certain situation. It's not something, it's something that takes place every month. Ngayon, it's a good intention, but it also should tell you the reality of what's going on if you're the leaders. Kasi ang mga magsasaka mo, sige, happy-happy na lang kayo muna. We have funds flowing through by your situation in your villages, but yet you will find, last night on my way home, ginabi ako, nakauwi kagabi. Unusual for me, something went on with something I was doing. What happened was, they had like a party here in the village yesterday. So lahat ng mga tao, they extended everything. You'll see people na, ngayon, maraming hindi nagtrabaho.
Naglasingan sila.
Yeah.
Ayan.
Maraming,
Oo.
if you are very mindful, a person who's, okay, limited na yung resources ko.
Huwag na tayo mag-aksaya.
Sana ibigay ko na sa health ng aking anak sa ano yung malusog o repairing ko na yung bahay ko or ilagay ko sa aking pagsasaka. You reinvest the resource that you're getting. But when you see this type of things, you kind of go, wow, hindi lang yung, it's a social issue. The education, the transformation has to be done. And people have to realize that we need to go through a transformation period in our life and to assess seriously the future of our situation and where we're heading. Each of us is responsible for whatever we're going to be doing and decisions we make for our family, but also for all our communities. We're parte.
Yes.
You know? Ngayon, there are things like, you know, when you put the farmers or the rural community in such a mood of mindset, you think, oh, the idea is just to make them happy. What is happiness? What is happiness to them? That means, meron nga ako tawag
May
dito.
tawanan doon kasi lasing.
Yung isang street dito, sabi ko, yan ang Gin Street. Yung
Gin.
Gin. Oh, Ginebra Street yan.
Beer
Ganun
Street.
yan. May ganun akong joke dito. Yan ang minsan tinatawag ko sa mga pagdating sa ganito, Sabado ng gabi, tatapon ng gin yan. You know, may mga ganun ba yung punto? Yung parang, but you also educate him. Magkakasakit ka sa ginagawa ninyo. Sa katawan at isip.
Nabubulag na.
Okay, tapos ganito yan. Ang quality ng trabaho niyo magiging ganito. Tapos magkakaroon kayo ng mga problema sa inyong mga bahay. Relationships, sa pamilya, yung mga ganun. Kasi kung ako'y ama at ako'y nakikita ng anak ko na kaya hindi sa tamang isip sa sarili ko dahil ako'y nakain.
Gagaya ang bata eh.
It's ano parang ano mo yan tinuturo mo sa kanila. Okay lang.
Ehemplo ka.
Okay lang itong ginagawa ko. Ama mo ko, ako naman mag-alaga, ako naman mag-desisyon. So, one point that we have, so with the farmers, 50 years ago, whatever it is today, that the farmers, the way they do their farming, has never changed. And it brought back so much difficulty to them in their life. That's why to this point, I'm sharing it to everybody. Ang average age na magsasaka na sa atin nasa 57.
Matandang
Tandang
generation.
generation.
Pag sinabi niyang it hasn't changed from the way that they are just trying to get everything from the soil. Hindi nila nare-replenish
Hindi
ang
na.
soil. So wala na.
At saka,
Nagkakamatayan na
the
lahat
new
ng
generation,
animals.
ayaw na nila mag-farming.
There's another aspect to this. Many of those living in the rural area and in the urban sites, yung mga sa syudad, they also don't want to go to the farm.
O iba ang attitude nga nila.
Not only that, it's because, ano kikitain ko dyan? Paano ako mag-raise ng pamilya ko? Kung ako educated ng ganito, I was educated to become a lawyer or a doctor. Yung mga lawyer, doctor,
IT.
pwede ka sa countryside. Kung
Maski saan.
pwede kang makatulong sa tao. Yung mga ganyan So, but you know what the limit is? The amount of money that flows around in the community of the rural areas, maliit yung umiikot ng pera. Pero hindi nila nire-recognize yung resource ng kanilang pawis at dugo sa pagtanim. Hindi nila kinoconsider yun.
Hindi accounted for.
So this is the scary part for many. I just want to inform you all about this. On our side, I'm involved with conservation programs Yeah, kahapon nga, dito sa, may nag-ano ngayon, nagva-viral dito sa amin recently. Kahapon, yung,
Panoorin nila.
ano nyo, hanapin nyo,
Please
yung
watch.
Watch Kurma.
Yeah,
Meron
can we
ngayon.
show them the link? Yan.
You know, kahapon may whale shark.
Oo, nahuli sa net na malaking hinihila na mga tao.
Kaya ko binabanggit ito. Kasi, yung mga mangingisda, ganun din ang scenario sa buhay nila.
O, pahirapan na.
Pahirapan din.
Mhm.
Ngayon, nahuli nila nito sa kanilang lambat. Isang 10-footer na bata pa na whale shark. Ngayon, good thing for the whale shark. May isa tayong volunteer.
Ng forma.
Yes.
Safe care
Safe care volunteer.
Yeah.
Dumalangoy siya doon. Hindi
Nandun
niya
din
alam.
pala siya sa net.
Doon din siya sa lambat.
Nandun din siya sa lambat.
Hindi niya, kasi mahaba itong lambat eh.
Oo,
Yung
alam
alam
Sa
niya,
lumato
mahaba.
natin yung volunteer
Yung
natin.
punto rito, dumalangoy siya.
Nasali siya sa
Tapos,
lambat. Di niya alam na meron doon.
Kasi
Ano?
sinisigawan siya ngayon ng mga magsasaka, ng mga mangingisda. Kasi siguro sabi ng mga mangingisda, ang bigat naman itong net ngayon, araw. Yung gano'n. Pero
Hindi, nakita nila.
nakita nila ang
nagsiswim
malaking pateng,
doon.
hinihila nila eh.
Oo.
Tapos itong lumalangoy nga, yung aming isang volunteer, biglang tinawag siya. So, yung
Sabi,
nalaman
"May
niya, may pateng. So,
Saka lang niya nalaman, ang lapit na pala sa kanya.
alam niyo, may magandang kwento to.
Mm.
Yung presence of that volunteer saved the whale.
Yeah, kasi nung tinigawan siya, lumabas siya sa net. Nag-swim siya sa shore. Pero nung tumingin ulit siya, nakita niya, hindi naman yan talagang pating na nangangagat kung
Nangangain
lang.
yun, hindi
Oo.
aggressive, no?
Yes.
So, hindi siya, yung mabait siyang whale siya. Whale eh. It's a,
Oo.
it's a whale, mabait ang whales eh. Okay, so, alam nyo, meron ng mga itak yung mga, patayin yung mga mangingisda. Yung,
Papatayin daw sana nila yung pating. Pero sinabi nung bata, wag, hindi yan harmful.
hindi harmful.
Na-convince niya yung mga fishermen na ipakawalan ang ang whale shark.
So, sama-sama sila ngayon.
Sinubukan naman nilang
Ang laki
ilabas.
kasi. So,
Nabuo ng beach
nagsama-sama.
kasi na
Oo.
Nas-
Kasi
Yes,
alam niyo, may
naman.
alon. Ang
Oo.
kagandahan nito, kaya ako lang kasi gusto bigay puri sa mga taong, even ng mga mangisda, no matter how hirap ng buhay ninyo. It was you listened.
Yeah, we want to thank all those fishermen. Imagine, sinira nila yung kanilang lambat, which is their source of livelihood, para mapakawalan yung whale
Yeah.
shark.
Saka nandun
So,
sila, tumutulak.
that's a very big thing, a very, very nice sacrifice on their part.
and the
So,
knowledge of our volunteer saved
yung-
the life
Again,
of this
If you
whale.
talk about go back to basics, titingnan nyo yan. We all contribute one way or another for the betterment of this world.
Yes.
Caring and saving and helping be the stewards, Not only stewards of, pag sinabi kasi natin, when we talk about nature, we only think about the trees and the forests
Oo.
and the wildlife. But sometimes yung wildlife, hindi natin iniisip it. But yet, at the same time, when we have opportunities to talk about what we're discussing, many of us, even for those who are listening, we have a way to make things simpler. One is, many of us have the opportunity to live our life where we concern ourselves with that which is more valuable sa buhay natin and which gives us the real pleasure that we always are longing for.
Kumbaga, may happy din tayo.
Yes, it's not
Diba?
like-
Talagang happy.
Talagang happy.
Oo.
Real happiness.
Yes. Deeper.
Yes.
Oo, and more
And
long-lasting.
it's the nature of the human being to have that pleasure. So you can see life in a much different perspective. You can live your life this way. There's simple living and higher consciousness. Importante. So we develop this. We have this as a human potential. So that means when it gets to the resources, we get to understand fully that all the resources are present. Wala naman pagkukulang eh. That what nature has given us, all of the natural resources, the natural elements, rain, water, You know, the
Air.
sun, the soil, everything is there. It is not that there's something that is lacking, even if at the state of our environmental concerns in the world, di ba? Even in the present state, hindi magugutom ang tao.
Correct. There's enough for every man's need.
Yeah,
Oo.
hindi tayo pwedeng magutom. It is when we misuse this God-given resource called intelligence. Talino. Gagamit dapat tayo ng talino natin. So, there's rhyme and reason sa ginagawa natin. Kasi we are responsible for our actions. Every activity, we are responsible. Kunyari, I was taking light of what took place here in the village yesterday. But today, there's no productivity. How many of those farmers,
Wala. Isa
families,
lang pumasok today.
I had 4 people that come here regularly. 3 farmers. Isa lang ang pumasok today. Yung isang aming tumutulong to clean up. Ano
Wala
yan?
rin.
You come. Kasi nobody's working today.
Napagod ka.
So makita natin yung so-called happy-happy nila nagresulta sa lost production,
Yes.
worse,
And-
bad health, no? Yung health nila,
Yes.
tapos yung relationships, nag-suffer. Ang dami kayang negative effects, no?
Yes. So,
So, sinasabi mo intelligence. Di ba?
Dapat mas
Talino.
long-term ang iyong
kasi yung talino ng tao, kasi
Hindi for the
kanyari,
moment lang.
yung
Yung happy-happy.
yung happy-happy mo na sa tingin mo this will be okay, then biglang wala naman pala. Imbis na happy-happy ka, sakit pala yung magdadatnan mo. At saka, you don't know. It's a social issue. And then, sino lang masaya dyan? Siyempre, yung mga manufacturers. Hindi ba yan eh?
Nakita si Jean at saka si Beer.
So, these are things that sometimes we have to consider this fact. That choices that we make in life,
Time to make the right choices
right? We
tayo.
have to make
no?
intelligent
Pag-isipan
and,
natin.
alam nyo, intelligent and reasonable. Kumbaga, we have to live our life this way. May talino ginagamit natin and reason and purpose. So if we are to consider the gift of
Simplify
life,
na natin ang buhay.
it is not about the amount of resources I have because that ends with our body.
Yeah.
Di ba? Everything you work for, kahit na anong yaman mo, it will
You
end.
can take it with
Take-
you.
take it with
Pag-alis.
So we should
Natin lahat.
use our intelligence and reasoning to live our life so that we take full potential of what we need to do.
A higher purpose, a higher goal.
And that way, it's easy to simplify our life. Without that, kumbaga na yung,
Complicated, tapos nakakaano.
Sayang lang, waste.
Kabalisan,
di ba?
Oo.
so maraming salamat sa inyo
Sabi
lahat.
ni
Um,
Mila Celeste, no, love that back to basics lifestyle. Issues 50 years ago, still some issues with farmers. It's so sad.
Same issues
Oh,
pa rin.
same
Dito
same
pa rin.
problems. That's why I encourage everybody and invite everybody to promote the basics, no, itong ating
Going back
going
to the
back to basics,
even
no,
teaching
and
To the
people.
essentials.
to the essentials
Oo.
and the wisdom of plant-based diet and healthy lifestyle,
Yeah.
to share it with as many people as we can, you know, para naman kagaya
Makatulong
nung
tayo in
makatulong
that
tayo
way.
to save,
Mm-mm.
like that our volunteer was able to save a whale, no.
We can
Lahat-
save each other also.
Oh,
with
we
this
can
knowledge.
save the farmers, we can save the resources of this world, you know, for a better purpose. Ma-conserve din yan and use properly. Sabi ni Mary Salazar, thank you for the helpful knowledge and reminders.
Yes.
Oo.
Like, last week I met a lady who survived cancer and now she's gone plant-based and diet. And she's teaching her
yes.
friends. She's teaching everybody. So please don't wait to get cancer and survive it before you become, we have a
Mindful of
better
what you need
diet.
to do, yes.
Oo. Ingat na tayo.
All right. Thank you so much sa inyo. And then next week,
Ingat.
again,
Ingat kayo.
ingat
Thank
kayo.
you.
May COVID pa rin ha. Huwag
Keep
kayong,
life
ha.
simple. Yes.
You have to be taking care of yourselves and your family.
Stay safe,
Stay safe.
everyone.
kalusugan, pangkalikasan, Go Palakas!